This college basketball picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast brought to you by Prize Picks. Head over to prizepicks.com/SGPN and use promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US based and available in 40 states. Head to cut.com, that's KUTT.com, and use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. And we're also brought to you by our Patreon. We just dropped our bonus behind the scenes episode of me winning $200,000. Plus, this week's Pick'em prize is a free $250 Super Bowl square. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Patreon to join today. Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green, with my partner on picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. No, it's college basketball time, Sean.
Oh,
although
yes.
I happy to announce Virginia Tech back to being a football program.
Really? Wow, that was a short run, Ryan. That was not a long run.
I'm back. I'm all the way in. Going to be a top 25 team next year.
Is that because the basketball team is collapsing, or it's just you're hyped about?
I'm feeling I'm yearning for Buzz. I don't have quite the passion for the team as when Buzz was sweating his ass through a 3-piece suit on the sideline. And as you've seen, Sean, I've been in love with Coach Pry the entire time. So
yes, your love of Coach
Pry. They're going to make the playoff next year, Sean.
Really?
They're going to make the playoff. 12 team playoff. Let's fucking go. They're going to be in the top 25 to start the year. They got 11 returning starters on offense. Drone strikes left and right. Did you hear that, Chuck? 11 returning starters.
Wow. Were they good last year?
The offense?
No,
down the stretch, they destroyed it. Yeah. You don't remember when the switch was flipped? You don't remember the most confident Virginia Tech pick I ever made was on that bowl game in which they murdered. They dropped another 40, 50 points. I mean, come on.
Ryan, it's always dangerous though when you buy all the way back.
This is
Virginia
different.
Tech football.
This is Coach Pry. I've never gone this hard for Coach Pry. Anyway,
man, we got a jam-packed college basketball slate. Couple special guests filling in for Colby. Shout out to Colby. Congrats, Colby and his wife on the mini dant.
Was a great opportunity for a Prick Dundee originating joke.
He's originating a new human being. I'm sure he'll be back at some point.
I'm sure he'll be back.
I would bet on it. So it feels like a pretty. Who knows?
Well, we'll have to ask Mac and Noah if he picked the games last night.
Yes, we will get into all that. Before we do, of course, shout out to Little Caesars, the official pizza sponsor of the NFL. That's right. Order online during the Pizza pregame all day on NFL game days and Pro Bowl Sunday. Oh man, I mean, think about it. You got the Pro Bowl this Sunday. You got the Super Bowl next Sunday. You show up at a Super Bowl party. Imagine they're like, you go to the guy. Hey, do you want pretzels? Hey, do you want pizza? What if I bring over pretzel pizza? You're the star of the show at the Super Bowl party. You can get it delivered or in-store pizza portal pickup. Grab some friends and enjoy a few slices during the game. Little Caesars Pizza. We're also brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform available in 40 states. Your go-to, I mean, if you're getting down on some Super Bowl action, you got to do it over at Cut. You can list any bets you want. If it has a verifiable outcome, Cut will do their best to get it listed up on the platform. And all you got to do is find someone else on the other side. It is the ultimate put your money where your mouth is platform. You're going to head with other Cut users. We got a group in there, SGPN. Feel free to challenge people on Discord to, you always see these guys talking smack I saw a couple guys going at it on social media about who they like, 49ers or the Chiefs for the Super Bowl. Someone said, "Hey, let's battle it out over on Cut. Use the promo code SGPN, get a 10% deposit bonus. KUTT.com." The person who wrote back, massive tool, said, "Why would I bet you when I can bet in Vegas? I live in Vegas." Real huge tool.
That is
Don't be that guy.
That is kind of an interesting response.
Yes, very.
Well, you like laying -110?
Well, yeah, I mean, but also just the fun head-to-head aspect of it. Someone's challenging you to a duel, and you're saying, "Sorry, I don't do duels." Like, what? Come on, what are we talking about here, Ryan?
He likes to bet against the corporation, which I guess there is some joy in that. But I mean, and I have to publicly apologize to all the cut heads or whatever we were calling them who were trying to challenge me. Something happened with my app where I was getting no notifications of anything.
Turn them off accidentally.
No. You know how we've had the same problem sometimes with the chat section of the app, and I don't know. I didn't. So I missed a couple challenges.
Cut challenges.
Maybe it was because I was wounded from the Ravens. I don't know. The stitches have finally
Your
healed.
cut account was down, not out though.
My cut account is actually still up a tiny bit.
Even with the
17 hundo
the
loss.
house was wrecked by the Ravens liquidity crisis. All right, joining us from the college basketball experience, the original dynamic duo. We got Noah B and Ryan Moneyline Mac. What's happening, gentlemen?
How you guys doing? No pick Dundee. You're stuck with us for the foreseeable future, everybody.
Yes. Here we go.
Do we set an over under on how quickly Colby is back on camera?
I mean, if I had to guess, Colby's wife is gonna get annoyed at Colby being around all the time, and it'll just be like, Colby, I can only listen to you complain about dome football for so long. Please go in front of a microphone and do that.
Can you
please.
imagine the bedtime stories Colby's reading to this young fella?
Well, we did get him.
The year was 1934. The offense was the wing T.
We did, and toddler sizes are available. Baby sizes are available. We got jumpers, rompers, whatever you call them. Just say no to dome football. So did get
There
that.
we go.
For Colby's baby. Perfect way to welcome him into the world.
Guys, I every once in a while go back and I watch some of the March Madness content that we both filmed and I got live from my phone. And I just wanted to do this before we even started. Ryan or Sean, sorry, I'm extending my hand through the call, a virtual handshake against Team Ryan here because I know this is how it's gonna go. So
really,
here we go. The battle ensues.
Oh, I see. So Noah is predicting I'm gonna side with Matt.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
I'm setting the line at over under 3.5 Team Ryan mentions.
Couple fellow sharks over here.
I feel like this.
Come on, no, we got to take him down.
Sean, this is
a little 2-on-2 shirts and skins.
I feel like we're cutting a promo for The Voice right now. No, I'm gonna pick the best team. All right. Yeah. No, we got. And I really screwed up, Sean.
Yeah.
This is my bad. I didn't shrink the sheet. So I just copied the tab from what Colby's been doing. So here we are with 1 million games,
15 games. Well, part of it, I'm not going to say is my fault, but Ryan, we're always out on.
This is your fault.
No, we're
100%.
out. We're out at VCU Friday nights and always itching for some bonus action before we go live for the show. So I said to Noah and Mac, I go, we got to get some of these late night Friday night games on. Most of these games are Saturday morning, but I don't want to come in blind because I want to have some notes, some handicaps.
Well, what happens is we all of a sudden we furiously
last minute I'll text Colby. He comes back and then I don't have time to really break down the pick. I feel much more confident when we do it on the show. 2
weeks ago when I hit Noah up for some info, he gave me it was Illinois future. So that threw me for and then last week he screwed me over with a Michigan State angle.
Yep.
Then after the game goes, my bad. Izzo was saving it up for win number 700. Anyway,
and what do you know? They just absolutely destroyed the Wolverines this week.
Again, Sometimes your angles are good.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Look ahead spot to Michigan. It was right there.
It was supposed to be a revenge angle against Wisconsin too. So
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin staplers were red hot. Those staplers.
Staplers out of Staples in Wisconsin, in Madison.
Kramer, let's get to it.
Well, real quick, did Colby make picks on the slate last night?
No.
He went picks page though. He got everything on the picks page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's done that the last
about
2
his
days.
tally site record.
Well,
Yes, he does.
For those who don't live with or are not around Colby all the time, if Colby missed a day, that would be the chink in the armor. We would never let him live that down because he honestly goes around telling people he's picked college basketball games for like 40 years, somehow longer than he's been on this earth. But very, very proud trophy for Colby. All right, let's start.
Swagger Hound is saying maybe getting Dundee off the show will get us back on track. Discord has been making a killing. Yeah,
true.
The consensus plays have been cold past 4 weeks.
And
Those
I'll
Discord plays are going to be harder to come by too. There's 4 people on the show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I mean, we're still 91 and 71 consensus plays. My locks are still 68%. But yes, we got to dial it in a little bit more.
I'm gonna say it. And this is a little bit. I'm taking some information that has flowed through my wife via Colby's wife. I'm gonna say that some of the poor performance of the show over the last couple weeks is going to have to sit on Colby's shoulder.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sounds like he's been a wreck. Sounds like he hasn't mentally been focused. He's had
not dialed in.
I guess he's had other priorities or things that have come up and been more pressing. So
every night on the show, it seems like he's building something new at his place. He's talking about building cribs, building desks,
all right.
IKEA
build
trips
some ladders.
everywhere.
Quick 30-second story. Apparently, we have to bust Colby's balls about this, Sean. But apparently, Colby's not very useful with building stuff. I'll leave it at that.
I'm not going to pick on him. I probably won't be either.
It's so bad that it made it all the way back to my ear. So it must be.
We got to get him like a IKEA training program on how to assemble.
We live in Los Angeles. You can drive less than a half mile, find a 7-Eleven and a place to pick up someone to do day labor.
Yeah.
Just figure it out.
Colby hires him.
Senor.
Assemble stuff in his house.
Colby's like, I don't have cash, but I got this old 1984.
Oh, even better than cash. I'll tell you who I like. Tuesday's slates.
All right, Friday night, 4 p.m. on the West Coast, Sean. So we might have to get this one down on the apps. We got Princeton heading to New Haven, Connecticut. Beautiful New Haven, Connecticut. If you know, you know on that one. Yale laying 4.5. Colby keeps telling us the Ivy League is good, quote unquote, great this year. Last time we talked about him, Princeton let me down. I pulled a Benedict. It worked out poorly for me.
Yeah, Cornell was the play all day.
We'll throw it to Mac first. I assume it's not quite the take the home team in the Big 12, but are we taking the home team in the Ivy League?
No, and I'll do my best Colby impression. Why are we picking the Ivy League? Oh, I mean, this is for first place in the Ivy League. you got Yale, you got Princeton. Princeton went to the Sweet 16 last year. Yale swept them in the regular season, but Princeton won the won the third game. Yale's tired of hearing about Princeton. You know, they were kicking themselves. Yale was the 1 seed last year, but Princeton picked them off in the tournament. Revenge angle. Give me Yale. I'm going to lay it with Yale here against Princeton.
Noah?
You know, on paper coming into this season, it looked like, at least to me, that this would be Yale's league this year. And I agree with Colby. The Ivy League's up this year. And I'd like to say thank you to SUPN because I got press credentials. I was able to see this private school pussy Princeton team in person. It was supposed to be
leave that description out when you apply for the press credentials.
100%.
Hi, I'd like to document the private school pussies of your league.
So it was supposed to be a rebuilding year for Mitch Henderson and his Tigers, but in my opinion, it's just not the case. Princeton, they've got 3 guys averaging double digits in points, and their point guard Xavier Lee. He's Asian, but he can ball in the classroom and on the hardwood, unlike my team's point guard. The Tigers, they're coming off their first conference loss. I'll take the points in Princeton here with the bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, Princeton coming off that loss. I know it is a back-to-back road spot, but I mean, man, They're a good team, and I think this is going to come down to the wire. This number feels. Is this an actual spread or is this a?
These are all. What do you guys call it? What Noah created
Cocktail
these?
napkin.
So these are Noah. Someone did post a hilarious piece of AI art, but
shout out Chad G.
Yeah, I do think the TCE chat that we always hear about, they hold the Noah cocktail napkin in high regard.
I got this closer to 2.5.
Oh wow!
But either way I like Princeton the points. I think Noah's onto something. I think this is a bounce back spot for him. I hear Mac's revenge angle, and my default would be to take the home team in the Ivy League, but man, I think this Princeton team too good of an offense to have another down night. So yeah, give me Princeton.
Princeton is the part of the state you take someone to who says New Jersey is the disgusting landfill. Beautiful part of the state. Beautiful.
Kramer, what are you doing?
Went to college with the wrestling coach. Big Princeton Tiger fan.
Just a quick update for you. We're 1 month away, Kramer, but back-to-back seasons, double-digit New Jersey seeds have gone to the Sweet 16. Don't forget when this year comes around.
St. Peter's, Princeton.
Princeton. Good trip.
Last year, Fairleigh Dickinson even beat a 1 seed. So
that's true. Jersey is just stocked full with talent on the hardwood. Yeah, of course I'm on Princeton, Sean. All right,
Princeton.
This is a game we will be getting down on with a paper ticket over at the Circa Friday night, 6 p.m. on the West Coast. Sean, we're heading to Akron, Ohio. Toledo, who they have a missile pointed in this direction, I believe, at all times. Akron.
Green.
That's Bowling Green. I'm sorry. Akron laying whatever. They're pointing a missile. Akron laying 7.5. There's no. Again, this is all of these lines are courtesy of Noah and his cocktail napkin. Who knows what he uses that napkin to clean up? Akron. I'm never going to bet against Akron. I don't think in the history of the show I've ever bet against Akron. I'm a big Akron guy. Probably why I was such a big LeBron guy his whole career. So I guess what I'm going to do is the line's probably a tad steep for me, but I'm still taking it. What I have found, Sean, is the Friday night plays. My gut has been doing very well, and if I just didn't listen to any of these outside voices, I'd be crushing it. So, with that being said, Mac, why am I wrong?
I like taking the points in these games with all the Ohio schools, with Toledo, Akron, Kent State, Ohio. It feels like the dog usually comes through, and this was supposed to be a rebuilding year for Todd Kolosky there at Toledo. But I mean, they won the regular season last year. They're back right there at 8-1. They've had Akron's number. They've won 4 out of 5 here. I'm going to take the points here.
Let's go. Live dog.
Yeah, I like the dog here on a Friday night in Ohio.
Little Friday night dogs barking. And no, but what about you?
I'm right there with Mac. I think the Rockets are live here. He said they won the regular season last year. I'll correct him. Todd Kowalczyk and this group have won the regular season 3 years in a row. They've yet to go to the NCAA tournament, though. So the drive is still there for this Toledo team, and they've had good history against Akron. So with this roster, I mean, Mac mentioned it. They're also supposed to be in a rebuild. They're starting 2 freshmen and 3 juniors, but Akron, I think they may win this game on their home floor, but Toledo's going to keep it within the number.
Yeah, Toledo is an easy play. All us sharps here are fading Ryan and his Akron. It's 7.5 for a Maction game. Big Friday night, little revenge in conference. Toledo 76% from the line. That's what you need when you're going to be backdooring 7.5, or maybe even winning outright. I think they could be a live dog.
They're ass on defense.
Yeah, but
what do you need to travel? The simple systems. You need defense to travel, Sean.
Now this is a conference game.
It's a gritty state, Ohio.
Defense is effort based, and in conference games, even bad defenses show up. So yeah, give me Toledo plus.
Quick trivia, Sean, for you. Only.
Yes, I'm listening.
Toledo sits on the border of Ohio and what state?
Kentucky,
Michigan.
Close.
Holy moly.
Yeah, come on. That's why
you knew Bieniek knew that.
Oh yeah,
Toledo.
was like, oh come on, Michigan geography trivia.
Quick fact, actually, Toledo used to be a part of Michigan, and Ohio. They went to court for Toledo's land because the Glass City. It was a big at the time for economy. It was huge, but it turned out the government gave Michigan the UP instead of Toledo, and the mining industry in the UP has been way more profitable for Michigan than Toledo.
Oh, you like how he has that last little dig on Ohio?
Yes, sir.
Screw
The armpit
you
of
up.
America. Don't get me
wow.
started.
Come on,
We-
that's Jersey's slogan. Don't
The
steal
Midwest
it from
has
Jersey.
their own armpit.
Everybody that might be asking, Ohio State, Iowa, that's a great game on Friday night. The cocktail napkin just couldn't allow you guys to lose more money on Ohio State
Yeah,
basketball
that's-
Friday night.
Well, you
I
keep
see. I
started
like.
on
Thank
those.
you.
Appreciate that, Noah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right,
You're welcome.
now we're heading out. And by the way, Sean, I assume there's some late night Mountain West action that I'll find a way onto as well. But we are hopping over to Saturday, 9 a.m. on the West Coast. We're heading to New York. Big game here, Sean. This is even big for the TMZ fans. We got UConn, who claim they own the Garden, taking on St. John's, who for this game will be a home team, I think. Although if you ask Hurley, the UConn's the home team. It's very confusing. St. John's is actually the home team, but UConn laying the 2.5 like they are the home team. Two home teams playing in one building, Sean. Something's got to give. Noah, what are we doing?
You mentioned this game was huge for the TMZ crew. This is also huge for the TCE crew, as both Mac and I have a bet from the preseason against Colby here with St. John's.
Oh.
Colby actually had St. John's winning the conference outright. Breaking news: they're 5-5 here in the Big East. They lose this game, they fall to under 500, third to last in conference. So, I mean, if I'm Rick Pitino, I'd highly advise him not to do that. And I think Colby desperately needs an upset victory here to stay within the conference race for that top 4 spot, or else he's buying Mac and I drinks in Vegas. That was the bet.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
These two fan bases, like Kramer mentioned, they've been gearing up for this game for months now. The drama recently between the two programs, Rick Pitino even dove into the mud too. He has vowed to schedule every St. John's home game at MSG next year, except for UConn, which will be at Carnesecca Arena, which is St. John's on-campus barn. So this should be a good one. And guys, I know the whole the court storming dialogue that's been going on Sports Gambling Podcast lately. If there was ever a chance that we saw a road fan base storm a court nowadays, it's right here Saturday morning. Lay it with UConn. They storm.
I'm actually predicting we have
calling a court storming as well.
West Side Story style. Both fan bases storm the court and have some sort of fight. Mac, what are we doing?
Well, you joke about that. It's UConn's home game. UConn's played 3 games already in this building. They beat Indiana, they beat Texas, they beat Carolina. They own the Garden, and I'm with Pitino. They should get this fucking game out of the Garden, because why would you want to have UConn take over your building? I don't like taking St. John's in the Garden. I like it when they're on that home court on campus. They get a great environment there, but UConn's not going to look past St. John's. They want to stick it to St. John's and Pitino whenever they can. First game, Klingon wasn't there either. I'm going to take the Huskies as well. I'll lay it with UConn. Home game for them.
Some have accused the Northeast sports fan for being a front-running fan at times. One area where they are definitely front-running, bandwagoning, whatever you want to call it, is UConn sports.
Yes.
As Sean, earlier this season, I bumped into a friend of my uncle's from the East Coast. What did first thing he tells me? Big UConn fan. Every Chowderhead's a UConn fan. A lot of the New York college basketball base pulls for UConn. They will 100% have this stadium based on what the arguments I heard from our counselors here. I believe UConn is the home team.
No, and the only time, I mean, they lost. UConn's lost 2 games. One at Seton Hall, that was a true road spot, and the other one was at Kansas.
That's what happens when they go to Jersey.
I mean, I don't think we need to really overthink this.
No,
we were on that Seton Hall money line against UConn too, with the college basketball experience.
Let's go.
Let's quick.
I think this is a consensus play on UConn, Kramer. Yeah, I'm on UConn.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? The Discord's going to the diner for a 30-second piece of pie.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who will get penetration.
I don't like fading Pitino, but this is a spot you fade Pitino. He's going to be out there feeling the pain of the freezing cold New York winter.
God, Hurley is going to be so juiced up for this.
He'd rather die of frostbite than lose a basketball game.
Hurley's going to be unbearable for this game. This is going to be his Super Bowl.
I can already see the press conference. That's why you got to bet UConn, because to sit through the post game press conference where Hurley is just sucking himself off. You want to at least have won some money on it.
He's so brave to find a way to not be a complete dickhead all the time.
I said it before. I'll say it again. He had to get a rib removed, Ryan, just so he could do the post-game press conference. That's how in love he is with himself.
Oh,
Texas heads to Fort Worth, Texas, to take on TCU. 11 a.m. here on the West Coast. Horns down. If you guys haven't, the College Football Inquirer guys had a nice kind of segment on talking about horns down and how ridiculous this is, even highlighting the other events that have happened.
What it reminds me of? It reminds me of like if you're like a kid or you're in school, you're growing up, and they come up with like a nickname for you. And it's like, hey guys, everyone's calling me Big Balls. Please don't call me that. And then everyone's gonna do it. Everyone's gonna be like, Big Balls, fuck it. Like by Texas getting so upset by horns down, it makes I don't really care about the Big 12. I watch it, I gamble on it, but the fact that Texas gets so angry doing horns down makes me want to have a horns down shirt. Makes me want to say fuck Texas. I didn't even really have a strong take on them until they became such whiny babies about the horns down.
But they're doing it on the way out of a conference who allowed them to be powerful.
The SEC is going to destroy you guys.
They won't hold any of this power in the SEC, and I highly doubt the sophisticated residents of Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi will be complicit to their please don't say horns down.
Kramer's going to love this dialogue. I mean, my dad used to be a travel coach, college coach here in my area. And one of his pitches to any guy looking to take a step up to another either program in the area, he'd be like, look, right now you're a big fish in a small pond. You've got it made right here. You're the dude. When you take the step up, now all of a sudden there's 5 or 6 dudes, and there's a difference there, and they're going to see that in the SEC.
Oh yes.
Well, and I think they're going to hear it too. People, to Sean's point, the fact that the entire SEC knows that this is going to bother you,
yes,
is a problem.
You already. It's like freshman year coming to, like you're about to join a fraternity and be like, hey guys, my one weakness is being paddled on my butt. So whatever you do, I'm grabbing the paddle. You told them what bothers you, and you gave them the playbook. What are you doing?
Horns down. I think from now on, Sean, we don't even say Texas. We just say
horns down.
Horns down heads to Fort Worth to take on TCU. Jamie Dixon and the boys. This TCU team. I got them on my list right here. I do not have any other teams written down to this point, Sean. Right here, March teams to bet on. TCU. This is a veteran squad that battle tested. We watched them against Baylor. Everything was going wrong. They were
so
staying
annoying.
composed.
As someone who was on Baylor, it was such an annoying.
They were
game.
missing the ball. They were dropping the ball, and Baylor.
Some of that was luck, but they were fighting.
But at the end of the day, Baylor was the team that ended up quitting, and so TCU laying 3 at home. I think you just have to follow the Big 12 teams at home rule. I do like I love me some Max A-Smiths, but Mac, what are we doing here?
I really struggle with this one. I'm actually going to do the filthy thing here. I'm going to take Texas. And
horns down.
Horns down, but Texas has been good as a dog lately. Cover against Houston, won outright against Oklahoma, beat Baylor, beat Cincinnati on the road as well outright. I think them and TCU always play these one possession games, and they're the more desperate team. They're still on the outside looking into the bubble. TCU's kind of feeling themselves a little bit headed into this game, coming off back-to-back rank wins. I'm going to take the horns and keep it close here. This is one kind of where Colby, like, you hope you're wrong because it's always horns down.
Yeah, it is fun to see them lose. What about you? What do you like here?
Yeah, you guys typically on the Sports Gambling Podcast know which sides you guys are going to be on before you even hit live or record.
What are you talking
for
about?
The NFL?
No way.
If you asked me to pick a game that I knew Mac was going to take a side on, Mac was going to take the Longhorns here.
It's
the handicap for me
emotional hedge.
The handicap for me here is simple. This is the only time TCU gets to play Texas this season before the Longhorns skip town to the SEC. Expect plenty of horns down from a rowdy Fort Worth atmosphere. Jamie Dixon and the Frogs win this one by more than a possession.
Yes.
Love it. Great handicap, Noah. You convinced me.
We love horned frogs too.
Yeah. The Hypno Toad, that was awesome. TCU, pretty good defense too. Texas defense, not as efficient. Going on the road. Yeah.
Horns down.
I mean, I like the last time they faced them before they leave for the SEC. I think that's a good motivator. Kramer, you're also on horns down.
Of course. Oh no, I'm not on horns down. I'm on TCU.
Yes.
I
can see how that could get confusing.
Also, a little just worth noting, no real hair swag coming from Mr. Terry. So I don't know. Hopefully Jamie Dixon's all the way focused. All right. 12:30 p.m. on the West Coast, right into San Diego, Sean, for our gals. Feels like we haven't loved them as much of late. They're hosting Utah State, which Colby would say they keep a good program. Danny Sprinkle, remember? Best name in coaching.
Yes.
They're catching 4.5 here. Noah, what's the angle?
So yeah, you mentioned it. Danny Sprinkle and Utah State. They've been one of the best first-year head coach stories this season, and I have eaten my fair share of shit and will continue to with my preseason predictions for these Aggies. However, since Utah State's super hot start, I'll take a snapshot of their last 3 road performances here. They had a 1-point win over a bipolar UNLV team. They got crushed by New Mexico at the Pit. Then they won in overtime versus Boise State. Brian Dutcher and San Diego State are the class of the Mountain West, and they show it Saturday afternoon on national television. Lay it with the Aztecs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, can you make a case for Utah State here? Or sorry, Mac. Mac, can you make a case for Utah State?
I mean, Utah State has won on the road. They won at Boise. They won in Vegas. So it's not like they just are unproven. Obviously, we know their home court is unbelievable in Logan, but I feel like this is a buy low spot on San Diego State. They've lost 3 out of 5. This is their league. This has been their league for the past decade. I think this is a fuck you spot to Utah State to remind them that, hey, the Mountain West still runs through San Diego, Brian Dutcher. I'll lay with the home team here.
Yeah, I mean, they've been very good at home, Sean.
This
is
right.
a home road split game.
And I mean, Utah State very good at defending the 3, but San Diego State doesn't need the 3 ball. So
if we sent the Discord a package that said Danny Sprinkle, they might think a man with a giant dong was going to jump out.
Or you sprinkle some salt on the old pretzel crust. So consensus
I can imagine
play
the cupcake at the end of his dong. That's Danny Sprinkle.
It's a consensus play on Utah State.
Oh, I can already tell what Sean's
San Diego State.
What Sean's going to lock up here. Shout out to Decker. He's got to be just feeling so good. San Diego State basketball season. He remembers last year, and Harbaugh's in the house. Richmond heads to. Wait, hold on. They don't need to head anywhere. They're a little crosstown rival against VCU. 1 p.m. on the West Coast. VCU laying a point here. Noah, let's talk about this one. Instincts are to look at the Spiders, but they are on the road.
You know what? I'll give courtesy to my partner here. He lives in the Richmond area. I'll let him lead it off with VCU.
Oh.
Yeah, the battle of the neighbors. You know, I'm kind of pissed that this is on a Saturday because I'm going to be at West Virginia BYU, so I'm going to miss this one. But Richmond, the hottest team maybe in the country. They've won 11 in a row. They just beat Dayton, but they're going to the Siegel Center, and this is a back-to-back road spot for Richmond. They got some staples on Richmond. VCU is still more athletic than them. Richmond has struggled over the years at the Siegel Center. This is another one. I'm going to fade a red hot team on the road. Give me VCU here to get it done and hand their rival their first loss in A-10 play.
I like this move by Noah, just casually throwing the baseball to himself, just like ball is life. I love it, Noah. Noah, what are you doing in this VCU Richmond game?
So we just saw a very similar situation play out in the MAC here. 2 bitter rivals, but one of them has a brand new regime. Ryan Odom comes in from Utah State, and he's in year 1 with the Rams. Odom brought in many transfers this season. This group can say they know the rivalry, but they're not ready to bleed for it. Chris Mooney and the Spiders, they were swept by VCU last year. I think they'll walk into the Siegel Center, walk out with a W, and still with a goose egg in that conference loss column.
You're taking the private school pussy version of Richmond. VCU, baby.
So you're on Richmond, huh, Noah?
Yes, sir.
I'm with Mac. I mean, I think the play is VCU here. I mean, it's gonna take a lot for me to bet on a team who's 360th in offensive rebounding percentage. That does not get you wins, Noah. Offensive rebounding is about heart and effort and boxing out. Mac, as a former part of the coaching brotherhood, I don't know what you would call your position, but come on, offensive rebounding. You can't bet on teams who aren't good at offensive rebound.
And just the athleticism of VCU and and Richmond's a wine and cheese crowd. They're going. Siegel Center is more
charcuterie.
This is the VCU atmosphere at the Siegel Center is more of SGPN, TCE brand. People shotgunning beers in the parking lot. Fucking student sections out of control. Yeah.
Kramer, are you a wine
and cheese?
Kramer's a wine and cheese guy himself, so.
Well, I kind of feel like Noah alienated me when he said he wasn't going to be on my team, and now I'm staring down the barrel of wanting to be on his team.
Are you on Team Ryan or Team Charcuterie, Ryan?
I would have been on Team Spiders, but Noah dissed me at the beginning of the track.
Oh, wow.
Give me VCU. I do like wine and cheese, though.
Noah's on Richmond Island.
Kramer was going to go chalk. We knew this, right?
Yes, exactly.
Wait, have I taken it? I did one dog. Happens to be a team from New Jersey. All right. Houston heads to Lawrence, Kansas, where 1 p.m. on the West Coast, where Houston, new conference, seemingly same problem. They're really fucking good. Is this spread correct? The Houston's laying points on the road in Lawrence. Well, explain this to me, Noah. This cocktail napkin. Are you sure it's not upside down?
So I've been saying it kind of on TCE for a while. You go to KenPom right now, and they are 3.5 points better than the second place team.
It's crazy.
It's nuts, and almost 34 points better than the average college basketball team. I've never seen this ever really in the couple of years that I've been handicapping every college basketball game of the season. So this is new to me. However, I would probably say yes, it's correct, because the dialogue around Kansas has been that this Jayhawks team has just not been as good as recent Bill Self teams. So yeah, I would say that the public actually wants to probably be on Houston here.
It is wild because KenPom generally has like these Houston teams. They're very analytics friendly. But
I've always thought it was because of the American though.
But to Noah's point, like the gap between the field and Purdue is smaller than the gap between Houston and Purdue.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is like,
but also too, and I think your number is right.
And they've not been lucky. Like they have a low luck rate. It's crazy.
And I get it. This Kansas team is not the Kansas team of past, but we're still talking about Allen Fieldhouse and Kansas as a dog. Normally I'm like, oh, the number the market's trying to tell you something, but it's not like Houston's been dominant on the road. They lost to Iowa State. They lost to West Virginia. They lost to UCF. I don't get and I think it's pretty easy narrative if you're Bill Self to sell to this Kansas team. Hey, they're favored, or sorry, I was reading off Kansas's road record, but it's not like Houston. I meant to point out, Houston also did lose to Iowa State. They lost to TCU. I had it backwards there, but like Houston hasn't been this just runaway freight train. They had to go OT against Texas. I think that's just crazy to make them a 5-point home dog. That just feels wrong. I'm on Kansas.
For what it's worth, I know my partner's pick here too.
Oh God, this is
what are you doing here now?
I'll take the guy that's got less losses at the Fog than he's got Big 12 championships. There's no fucking way I'm taking Houston in their first ever game at the Fog. I think this line will be smaller. I know the computer projections, KenPom, Bartorvik, whatever algorithm everybody uses, but I just can't see them opening them up as 5. I'll say it's around 2. Remember, Kansas was laying points against UConn, and the computers loved UConn too. Same situation. I'm not betting against Kansas at the Fog. No way in hell. Give me a jab.
No, this is crazy. Noah, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm right there with Mac. This is Houston's real welcome to the Big 12. I think this is a good Hunter Dickinson day too. At at the Fog, Houston's going to find out what the home whistle is all about in the Big 12.
Yeah.
The Cougars, they already foul at a high rate as their opponents. They're taking the 59th most free throws per field goal attempt in a game. That's going to climb with Bill Self on the other sideline here. The free throw discrepancy percentage is already quite large in this matchup. Sean, if he wants to touch on it, he can.
Come on.
But it's rock chalk Jayhawk.
7% difference. What are we talking about? I mean, you guys nailed it. First time in the Fog. I think they're going to be out of sorts. Kramer, this is a real tough one for you because Kansas is the chalky play, but Houston has the minus sign. What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know if I would. I would love to unpack how the projections come to this when you.
I checked around. I think the projected spread is right. To Mac's point, they might get hammered if they hang a Kansas 5, but.
I mean, I'm sure there's that. There's the fact that you are Kansas. You have this team coming into your house. People are aware of gambling. They will almost certainly feel like they're being disrespected.
Bill Self is gonna mention it.
But the note on the fouling, I do think is relevant. This will be an interesting. We'll see if Houston fouls at their normal rate. Certainly will turn into a problem. And yeah, do you really want to lay 5 with a team that can't shoot free throws? Probably not.
No.
So I guess I'm taking a dog.
Rock chalk.
And to touch on Houston, I mean, they've lost at Iowa State, they lost at TCU, and then they almost lost at BYU and at Texas on Monday night. They needed overtime to get that one. They haven't drilled teams on the road. They drill them at home.
Yeah. Home double-digit favorites. Sure, let's talk. But on the road at Kansas, laying. I mean, they just shouldn't be laying points. I think that's crazy.
Wrong team favorite.
Wrong team favorite.
3 p.m. on the way.
Real quick, Ryan. Shout out to Prize Picks. Love Prize Picks daily fantasy. Made simple. All you got to do is go to prizepicks.com/SGPN. Get the 100% deposit match up to $100. Use that link and use that promo code. prizepicks.com/SGPN. Promo code SGPN. And Prize Picks has college basketball. We reached out to Noah. Said, Noah, help us put together a little Prize Picks entry, little two-player entry here. Noah, what do you like for this week's Prize Picks?
Yeah, so I write a daily article over on sportsgamblingpodcast.com, giving out player projections on college basketball players. I encourage you to check it out over there. A lot of 2-1 days. The 3-0 has kind of escaped me. So I'm going with 2 picks here. You guys can add a third if you want, but if you want my third, check out the article on sportsgamblingpodcast.com.
Great tease, Noah. Great
tease.
I'm going to take you to, first off, Mike Sharamjam. This guy, I've given him out in
this. I found it. I just looked up Mike. Luckily, there's not a lot of Mikes playing Thursday night.
He plays for the San Francisco Dons, and I'm going to take the less than 15.5 points, rebounds, and assists. San Francisco, they're one of the top tier teams in the West Coast Conference, and by nature of that, they kind of just pull away in these conference games. And he's a starter, but he only averages about 25 minutes a game. And he's recorded less than 15.5 points, rebounds, and assists in 10 of his last 11 games. And during the Dons' 19 games this season, he's only eclipsed this player projection in 5 total games. The other one that I'm going to take you to is Max Klesmit from Wisconsin. I'm going to give you the less than 15.5 points, rebounds, and assists on him as well. Nebraska's only lost 1 home game all season long, and it was to their in-state rival Creighton, who was in a little bit of a revenge angle. The Cornhuskers had beaten the Blue Jays on the road last season. So I think this is a trappy spot for Wisconsin as they're looking ahead to Purdue. We're going to talk about that game in a little bit. They play on Sunday. Wisconsin guard Klesmit has failed to accumulate 15.5 PRA in 9 of his last 13 games, and he's also averaging just 13 points, rebounds, and assists this season. And in road games, it's only 11.2. So I think there's plenty of value on this Klesmit lower than 15.5 points, rebounds. And assists.
I didn't even know, Ryan. This must be a new feature. This must be a new feature over on Prize Picks. I didn't know you were allowed to go lower. I love this angle, Noah. We got a double lower on Mike.
Less.
Oh yeah, less. Mike Sharavajams, less. and Max Klesmit less. 15.5 PRA for both of them. $100 entry would win you $300. And of course, you can get that free 100 if you go to prizepicks.com/SGPN, promo code SGPN. PrizePicks, daily fantasy made simple.
Yeah, I got to take penicillin for a week. I got some Sherrero jams.
I mean,
I got it from the shrimp cocktail down in Mexico.
How they expect me to pronounce that name, I have no idea. Did my best.
Auburn heads
no, like a true journalist.
heads to Oxford, Mississippi, to take on Ole Miss. Boy, we gotta smash it versus this is confusing, right? Because we have Bruce Pearl smashing, and then we have Chris Beard, who once allegedly was smashing, but then he wasn't smashing anymore. But he had to move because he smashed, and then allegedly, didn't smash. Ole Miss catching 5.5 at home here. I mean, this is it. I kind of feel like a similar situation talking about this Houston, Kansas spot. Mac, what are we doing here?
So obviously, Ole Miss has been a machine at home so far this year. They're coming off the Egg Bowl on the hardwood, beat Mississippi State.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a game, and both teams scored a lot more than I thought. I feel like Ole Miss has been achieving above what they actually are as a roster, though, in year number one with Chris Beard. They went to A&M, got it done against the Buzzsaw outright. I was surprised by that. Then they got Mississippi State. I think Auburn's a little bit ahead of them, and I like the spot for Auburn. I'm actually gonna lay the points here at in Oxford and take the Tigers. I think their roster's better and they got more size, so I'll take the Tigers.
No.
Yeah, Mac took most of my handicap, so I'm just going to quote tweet it here and just say that I think Auburn, this matchup is going to allow Auburn's defense and offensive ball movement to be on display in Oxford. Give me War Eagle -5.5.
Smash.
You guys are close, but you're missing. Auburn plays Alabama next game. This is an easy spot to look past. I'm going with the home dog here. Ole Miss +5.5. Now, I would not be surprised if Auburn wins this by possession, but I think 5.5 hair too high. Should be a good game, but I'm going with the home dog, Kramer.
They have
the Alabama look ahead is real for Auburn.
Well, they just lost Alabama, right?
Yeah,
that's where it's coming from. And plus I'm a big Chris Beard guy. Big Chris Beard.
Well,
guy.
you got a nice beard going.
Are you making fun of me?
Yeah, because you don't have the mustache. You have a beard now.
You're like a broad.
No, I'm not.
You're like a broad.
I'm just
up
pointing
my
out
ass about my fucking facial hair.
I mean, come on.
What are you, Joe Torre, George Steinbrenner? Hey,
shave those sideburns.
God damn! I was saving the final shave for Super Bowl week.
Okay, nice.
Wanted to look sharp when we're out there. Wear the Giants jacket, look extra sexy. Drake heads to Terre Haute, Indiana, to take on Indiana State. Indiana State laying 5. Some are saying this is the best Indiana State team since a white dude who liked to repair his driveway played there back in the 70s.
Larry Bird.
I don't know if you guys have given the audience what they need. Have we shown Robbie Avila on this broadcast, like on this program before?
I don't think
we need to get Josh on this.
Yeah, he's great.
Okay, well,
Yeah, we need a picture of Robbie Avila.
I'm just that Curbelo guy is. I saw him juggling the other day. I will say, let's see what this guy.
Too.
He does anything but play.
Oh my! What the fuck, Colby? How have we not? I'm sending Josh. I'm sending you the picture. I want you to put up on the screen. Actually, I'm just gonna fucking upload this thing. Hold on. This is unbelievable.
It's great.
Oh, Josh is already. Oh my god! Look at this guy, Sean. Look at this guy.
Animal.
Look at this. Look at this
amazing
guy.
rec specs. Shout out to him.
But he's even got like a gut. I mean, like no bullshit. Imagine
He's Jokic of college basketball.
Hold on. I don't know where I found this picture, but I'm
he's
putting
averaging 16 and 8 too. He's a badass. I mean,
solid,
those are pretty.
He's fucking good.
Does he do the goggles celebration on top of his rec specs?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Look at the mask picture right there.
That was high school.
Remember when they were making people play with masks?
Ready for this?
God.
Look at this glamour shot
he's
right here.
drawing
Look at
auto.
this glamour shot.
Oh, look at those eyebrows. Oh wow, amazing. All right,
right.
so I'm in on Indiana State, right? What are we doing here?
Yeah. So this is a revenge angle too. Indiana State's 10-1 in league play. Their only loss was at Drake. But like you said, this game's in Terre Haute and Terre Haute, however the hell you say it. I know people are very particular. They drill teams at home, and I think they're going to put it on Drake. They're a step above Drake this year, so I'll lay it with the Sycamores, Larry Bird's alma mater.
Feel like I don't know the right pronunciation of it, but I think Matt got it wrong. I think people are going to be upset with Matt.
I think it's Terre Haute.
Ho?
Terre Haute.
I gave out 2 options. One of them's got to be right?
Yeah, it's like ho, it's Terre Haute.
I remember only because that was a regional host in college baseball's tournament last year. So that was the only
regional host.
Noah, what are you doing? Indiana State or Drake?
Indiana State, they have one of the most legit offenses in the country.
Yeah,
I think they are very versatile. They can score from almost anywhere on the court. We just talked about Avila. He's their big man, but he can stretch it to the 3 as well. Whereas Drake, in my opinion, I think they're a one-man team with Tucker DeVries, and they're just not as good as last year's team. They're still very good in this Missouri Valley Conference, but that last year's team also featured Roman Penn, who was an elite talent as well. So I'll lay the points with the Sycamores here.
I'm surprised Sean didn't bring up the lack of offensive rebounding from Indiana State.
Indiana State, no, they don't. They're not great.
It's not their game. They're a 3-point shooting team.
Well, also you can't rebound offensively when you're 3rd in the nation at 3-point shots, 2nd in the nation at 2-point percentage, because if you're hitting all your shots, it limits your offensive rebound. Now, granted, it's a percentage, but still. 79% from the line. That's all I need to hear. Give me Indiana State. Easy
money, and it's a revenge spot as mentioned. I've actually been told it's Terre Haute, like an owl. Yes, this person was from Indiana too. So, but I
enjoy the Drake Discord.
Indiana, I think, is a lot like some other states where people sound different from different parts of the state. Duke heads to Chapel Hill, North Carolina, to take on UNC. 3:30 on the West Coast. Big rivalry spot here, Sean. UNC laying 7. Has that been adjusted for this just means more, Noah?
So this one kind of makes sense to me, at least. I mean, earlier this week on TCE, I said that the Tar Heels, they've passed my eye test at least. And recently Duke, they've kind of looked vulnerable due to their roster fluctuating due to injuries and whatnot. So I called for a double-digit win for North Carolina then. NC Nick called me out on it on Monday, saying that this rivalry, it's always close. But, I like it even more now for North Carolina after they lost to Georgia Tech.
Agree.
RJ Davis, Armando Bacot in the group, they're coming in hungry after they got swept in this series last year. And lastly, don't look at the loss of the Yellow Jackets as a deal breaker, because Duke looked bad against them twice this season, and maybe just Stoudemire in that group, they're a little bit of a surprise to us in the ACC this season.
Scrappy. Mac.
Oh, I'm on the point. This is the rivalry. But I feel like the road team is better in this game over the years. Maybe it's because they only are 8 miles away from one another on Tobacco Road, but I think Duke's kind of found themselves recently with Filipowski, Roach, McCain, Proctor. Those guys are playing better. I think Carolina's a little bit overrated. I still think they're pretty good, but I think Duke still has some more revenge angle. Remember, they did end Coach K's career. So just 2 wins is not enough to get that revenge. So give me the Dukies here in the points. I think it's another classic in Tobacco Road.
Yeah, I'm more of the mindset of Mac here with Duke catching the number. I mean, UNC off the bounce back after losing outright to Georgia Tech, horrible loss there. But again, like Duke has this game circled as well. I don't think this is a lay down spot for them at all. 7 points is just way too much to give a Duke offense that's 9th in adjusted efficiency in the nation.
Duke has beaten the shit out of. Well, Duke has won in this building 2 years in a row. They swept them last year. There's got to be some revenge on the mind. As I watched this Duke team play my Hokies a couple days ago, this Duke team's not good. The Hokies are just broken as a team. And I didn't watch a team like when I watched North Carolina, you see a team where you're like, that team can win the national championship. Duke is not that. I'm laying the points. Give me the chalk.
Really rare chalk play for Kramer.
I mean, they've been embarrassed by Duke 2 years in a row at home.
Yeah, but they also
seasonality
to Mac's point. They basically put Coach K underground.
That's
they got him pruning roses. Come on.
For now, he'll be back soon. This Shire guy, he's not.
Yeah,
the gardening gig won't last forever.
I was texting with Billis. He said he's ready. It said Coach K is ready to come back.
It's just
ready for the booth or ready for the floor.
It was such a clever, in hindsight, Billis saying that Coach K loves the hose. Really, really funny.
Hurley is taking over bitching at the refs for Coach K. That's the new guy that bitches at every call. Hurley. It used to be Coach K every call. Now it's Hurley.
Guys, we had a meeting in the offseason. Iowa State heads to Waco, Texas. I stand by. Waco has got to be the most famous city that's famous for only one thing, and it's bad. Baylor laying 1.5. Baylor, I think, might be in timeout for me and Sean. Mac, what are you thinking in this game?
Triple O team lost to TCU. I'm still pissed at.
Yeah, but they had a big bounce back
win
last night at the bounce house. They were down double digits again. They had lost 3 in a row. I think they got their mojo back. They went to zone. They played a little more zone like they did in the past. And this is Iowa State on the road. They just beat both K-State, Farmageddon, and Kansas. I love Baylor here. I think Iowa State, they're a fade for me whenever they hit the road. So give me the Bears. I'll lay the number, even though they have let us down over the last 2 weeks.
Noah?
Yeah, to Mac's point, Baylor is my Big 12 team. I announced that it was actually ironically last night.
Oh, wow.
They had that 3-game losing streak. Everybody wrote them off. But in this new arena, the environment is lit. And I think the Bears are still a contender in this conference, in my opinion. We're in a valley for the prices in the market right now. Buy low if you're into that sort of thing, both against the spread on Saturday and in their futures market. I like them enough to win the conference still at this price. Ooh. And like Mac mentioned, Iowa State on the road, it's a little bit tricky. Just anytime they leave their own confines, the friendly confines of Hinkle Fieldhouse, they are 3-4 straight up and 1-2 away from home in the Big 12. Only win against TCU. That was by 1 point here. I like Baylor to get a win by 2 or more here.
Yeah, I mean, Noah, first off, real professional, just powering through the Cocaine Bear sound effect without missing a beat in his handicap. That's how you know he's a true pro. Laser focused, dialed in. I mean, to me, the handicap is as simple as you take Iowa State at home and you fade them on the road.
Yeah.
As much as it pains me to put money on this Baylor team once again, after they had so many chances to cover in overtime, you got to do it. You got to take Baylor here, laying the 1.5. Good spot for them, actually. Kramer? Consensus?
Yeah, consensus.
Discord.
Iowa State. So far the Discord is Iowa State, Drake, Houston, and Utah State, and St. John's.
I was going to say who's on St. John's.
Worth pointing out, Iowa State's losses. I didn't comb through. They only what 3, 4, or 5 losses. They tend to let teams get a little hot from behind the line. I know my Hokies, even though they lost, or when my Hokies beat them, they were able to shoot nicely from behind the line. So perhaps our Baylor Bears can do the same. They're a quite good shooting team. So Tennessee heads to Lexington, Kentucky, where Kentucky's catching 2, 5:30 on the West Coast. Rick Barnes. I don't even know what this. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Great chance for him to bounce back in what is certainly a recruiting trip, and we know that Rick Barnes is always on top of his shit on the recruiting trips. Heading down to Kentucky, laying 2. That's my instincts, but I'm the guy who loves all the chalk.
Yeah, let the pros.
No, what are we thinking here?
I think it's time to break out the snorkeling gear, guys.
Oh,
I mean, this one's at 8:30 Eastern, ESPN. First weekend without an NFL football game that actually counts. Get the flag football stuff out of here for the Pro Bowl. Tennessee laying 2. Both teams are coming off of ugly home losses. And I trust the more experienced team here in the bounce back. Tennessee's elite defense is going to travel here. This is a matchup where, their offense is better than ever with Dalton Knecht averaging nearly 20 points a game. I'm going to lay it with the Vols on the road against a young Kentucky team.
Snorkel with me, Noah. What do you say, Mac?
Yeah, I'm with you. And Kentucky swept Tennessee last year. So this Tennessee owes Kentucky one from last year, and they're the more experienced. They got more size. I don't trust this Kentucky team, and I think Barnes is a much better coach than Calipari. So
Ooh.
I know it's tempting with Kentucky whenever they're a dog at home, but I'm going to take the experience off a loss. That was embarrassing the way they couldn't score the other night. I think they make some shots, and Kentucky's off an overtime loss to Florida. So I like fading teams off overtime games.
Yeah, you are on that angle. Yeah, Tennessee. I mean, both teams coming off a loss, but I think Tennessee's bounced back slightly stronger. I'll roll with you guys. I'll take Tennessee here. I mean, Kentucky just hasn't looked that good as of late. Besides the home loss to Florida, they also lost at South Carolina, which Tennessee did as well, but they also lost Texas A&M. Yeah, they're just, I don't know. They're still, Kentucky's always going to be interesting once they do get a little bit experience, maybe in the conference tourney, maybe late in the season here. But right now, I think the experience does matter in this spot. I'll take Tennessee.
Yeah, it sounds like Tennessee is about to get in some trouble. Or at least the NCAA is trying to get them in more trouble. So Tennessee, hilarious program.
Big Daddy Sankey's got him. He's got him covered.
I was gonna say, yeah, they should be fine. But also, Tennessee is an all-time like perception reality being like way far apart team. It's pretty funny. Their fan base thinks highly of them. Washington State heads to Seattle, Washington, take on Washington. Is this a neutral site gimmick? Guys, or
no,
we a home
Seattle.
game for the Huskies?
Home game for Seattle or for Washington.
We got Washington laying a point here. I don't know how I feel about my Cougs away from Pullman. No real quick access to that sweet Bigfoot weed shop, the Coug, all the other great things the city of Pullman has to offer.
Do you guys have no? What do you think? Is one fan base going to be more than the other here?
Oh, this is Washington.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be a Washington crowd, but also I think the more passionate side here is Washington State, as you know, they've got an energy or just a vibe around the program that, you know, hasn't quite been there recently. Kyle Smith and Washington State have been quite the surprise this season. The Cougs are definitely the more attractive side here for me. I just can't trust Mike Hopkins and the Huskies already with three home losses this season. So give me the more motivated squad in the Apple Cup. Wazoo gets a W here in one of the last battles under the Pac-12 brand.
Noah does strike me as a cougar hunter.
Look out. So he's locked and loaded.
Fires down to the financial district, catch some nice 45 plus ladies, executives only.
Would you like a napkin with that cocktail, man?
Oh my.
Can you imagine him just hanging out at happy hour, the martini,
sliding his phone number to like sexy executive ladies.
Oh, you're here
ladies.
for the executive lunch with Noah. Yeah, I mean, to Noah's point, Washington's been kind of cold here. They've got 6 losses out of their last 10. Just hasn't looked great overall. My lean is towards Washington State, but I'll give Mac a chance to talk me into Washington if that's what he's feeling. What do you say, Mac?
Here, I'll give you another Colby impression. Oh, you got to take the Cougars here. This is the final time before they go to the Big Ten here.
Yep.
Final time to stick it up their ass in Seattle. You mentioned it, man. Like Mike Hopkins and Bobby Hurley, the other Hurley at Arizona State. Once like they'll pop up in November, December, a little bit early January, but then they're fade mode because their teams just they never click and they kind of quit on their coach. So I like Kyle Smith. They swept him last year. I think they're going to sweep him again, and I think it starts Saturday at Washington. Washington State's one of the more underrated teams in the Pac-12, just from size and they really share the ball offensively. I like this team.
Do they still run the zone?
Washington State or Washington?
Washington.
Not as much. Not as much.
Hopkins came from Cuse, right? I mean, Sean's on top of that stuff.
Yeah.
He's a Boeheim disciple. I figured you'd be all over.
Oh,
Washington.
let's go.
Are you sure? Wait, so you are on Washington?
No.
Oh,
Washington State. I mean, just the mention of Syracuse gets me excited for college basketball. But in this case,
that was
I like Washington State's just been playing better as of late. I think the slight motivation edge. This should be a great game, but I'll take the dog here. The tiny dog. Oh, you got the Mike Leach bobblehead.
Got the Mike Leach box where his bobblehead came from. What's that say? Washington State. Let's go. Go Cougs. Also, great live rendition of Colby saying, no. St. Mary's heads to Spokane, Washington to take on Gonzaga. 7:30 on the West Coast. Assuming that would be a little too late for Mark to be headed back from the lake house.
Mark had a few.
Gonzaga laying 2.5. This is not the same Gonzaga team. We keep
Ryan, real quick. Perfect. Actually, breaking news. We have a call from Colby. I just wanted to ask him last week, Colby, you locked up LMU against Gonzaga. Was that a good idea? No.
Oh wow.
Are you gonna be locking up LMU anytime soon? No.
Wow.
Is Gonzaga a bad team? No.
Whoa.
Can you stay on for the rest of the show? No.
Hey,
Right,
Colby,
well,
did LMU keep that game within 30?
No.
He does
All
that
right.
every year. He locked them up last year, and they lost by 50 to Gonzaga.
Colby falls in love with things, and one of those things is
For
Kelly.
what it's worth, they did win at Gonzaga last
They
year.
did have that one win. Yes.
He likes Kelly LePepe, but yeah,
Who doesn't?
It feels more ironic now than ever.
Is this a letdown spot for Gonzaga after the big LMU win?
No, I don't think so. This is the game in this league. I mean, this is what everybody's got circled.
I would say like with the way Gonzaga is kind of downish this year, it does seem like the starting position for me is to take a dog here with St. Mary's, but I'll let these guys maybe talk me out of it. It's such a short number for Gonzaga at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's tempting to take St. Mary's because they probably are the better team. They basically blew a 30-point lead last night, but you kind of just look at the history, and I know it's not the same Gonzaga team. I'm not going to fade Mark Few in this situation. When he's in a short number here, all he's got to do is win by one possession, 3 or 4 points to beat St. Mary's. I'll take Gonzaga, and then I'll take St. Mary's in the rematch at their place.
Yeah, I'm with Mac. I mean, as much as Gonzaga is slightly down from previous years, they're still at home with Mark Few. I mean, laying a short number,
Number feels short.
It's too tempting not to take it. Maybe they're trying to bait you into it, but I'll take Gonzaga minus.
So
2.5.
we're all on Gonzaga.
No. What do you like?
This was one of the toughest handicaps for me. Honestly, like preseason, it was expected that Gonzaga was going to take a step back, and all the spreadsheet nerds were very high on the St. Mary's team, and they've been bipolar. Like, just extremely have been very hard to get a read on this team. They had a 3-game losing streak early on in the non-conference. They dropped 3 straight to Weber State, San Diego State, and Xavier. They were favored in 2 of those games, and they had leads in the second half in all 3, and they choked it up. And then also they lost a home game to Missouri State, which was just absolutely stunning. So now they've started to get back onto the roll that people expected them to. But again, it's in conference, and they are clearly just at the top echelon of the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga, on the other hand, I feel like I know what I get from these guys. I'd rather take in a coin flip game, give me the high variance team that if they show up with their A game, I think they could have a plus performance here against the Zags in a one they know they have to get. You know, you look at it last year, and St. Mary's, I think they won. Did they win this game at Gonzaga?
No, they haven't won since like 2018.
They lost by 9 at Gonzaga, but they had a tiebreaker in the conference. I forget what that came down to. It might have been that LMU loss for Gonzaga, and they lost the 1 seed. I thought the kink in the crack in the shield, or the kink in the armor for Gonzaga was last year, and I'm kind of with the spreadsheet nerds this year with Gonzaga falling back to at least second in the WCC. Give me St. Mary's. I think they got the better guard play, and they have more positional length over the Zags this year. So yeah, I'm with the Gales.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they win the game at the end of the season, right? Give me the favorite.
So you're going chalk, Ryan?
Yeah, I think you just take.
Were you going to take a dog here?
I was considering it.
No.
I was considering it, but Noah, he told me that we weren't going to be friends today.
Oh,
so.
okay.
Purdue heads to Madison, Wisconsin, where we're getting late night staplers. Oh wait, this is Sunday at 10 a.m. Interesting. No football on, so we get Purdue versus Wisconsin
Competing with the Pro Bowl flag football game.
who knows when that's on? Wisconsin catching 2.5 points at home. It's still. I mean, Sean did earlier this season say Purdue was the worst basketball team he had ever seen. I think.
No exaggeration.
They've rebounded nicely as they just rattle off win after win, coming off an overtime thriller against the Staplers from Northwestern. Makes you wonder. This has got to be a tricky spot for them, right? On the road. I assume they jump around at the basketball games, just like the football games. Mac, home team here.
Yes, and I think it depends on tonight too. Wisconsin's taking on Nebraska. I think Nebraska is going to beat Wisconsin here tonight.
Yeah.
So I think we might get Wisconsin off a loss, jump around. So I like Wisconsin here. I think they've been way better than any of us expected. They're more athletic this year. They're older. Tyler Wall. I like in Kroll. I like this Wisconsin team under Greg Gard, and I think they're going to hand Purdue, who's struggled in league play on the road outside of at Iowa. They've struggled. They got a couple losses, a couple non-covers. So give me Wisconsin here. They're going to make a statement.
One nugget for Wisconsin. They rebound well, so perhaps they're able to stymie some of those easy second chance opportunities for Purdue. Noah.
Yeah, I'll let my partner come back on this one because I predicted what side he'd be on.
Oh wow!
With a couple of Big 12 teams, the Big 10 here. I'll let him have some shine. He can predict my pick here.
What are you going for Wisconsin?
No. Noah takes Purdue every fucking game. He's still depressed when they lost to Fair Dick.
I'm on the Boiler Nation. They were my preseason national title pick. And I have not wavered a single bit. I love this freaking team this season. Watching them is the most fun for me because I love all the dickheads that changed the charge rule because they wanted more athletic play. But you know what you get when you change the rules of the game? You get the big 7'5" guy charging down the lane at you, and you have no shot at defending this. The free throws at the end of these games are just ridiculous in margin of favor of Purdue. I think it continues here with the Boilermakers, and Matt Painter is the best Big Ten coach on the road. I had prepped for Mac to make this point about the Boilermakers on the road. In the last 2 seasons, Purdue is 9-8 against the spread. But again, it's the best record in the Big Ten for a road team. This is going to be, I think, a public fade. Wisconsin at home. They're the second best team in the Big Ten this season. Purdue's 12-6 straight up in the last 2 years on the road. The Boilermakers, they make a statement here against one of the top teams in the Big Ten. They go in on the road. They win it by 3. They make their foul shots at the end of it. Give me Purdue.
Right, Noah watches missionary porn. How boring!
I just like to see 2 people in love. No, I mean Purdue, no way, no how. Wisconsin Badgers all day. And you mentioned free throws. Good point, Noah. Turns out Wisconsin almost a full 6% better from the line against Purdue. You're making them a home dog. Come on.
I'll counter with a lot of that is Zach Edey. He's shooting only 71% of the season, but he's had a whopping 231 free throws this year.
Yeah,
that's
impressive.
I can't wait till they break your heart again this year.
They're gonna call him
in Vegas.
They're gonna call him Bake Ziti Edie because he's about to get cooked in Wisconsin.
They don't know anything about pasta up there. Right?
That is true.
They come with a cheese analogy.
Kramer?
No, I'm not. When do I ever take Purdue?
Oh, they are a favorite.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Not so fast. No. All right, I'm ready. I have my lock.
I am an East Carolina fan.
I have my lock dog and tease ready.
Oh wow! All right, lock dog bonus lock brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Head over to hofbets.com. Use the promo code SGPN. Get 50% off your first month. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app. Bet smarter, not harder. They got you covered. Optimizing some parlays, you got to go to Hall of Fame Bets. Digging deep on some player props, you got to go to Hall of Fame Bets. Again, they make the research so much easier. Do not spend hours calculating past performance of these different guys you want to get down on. They got you covered. Hall of Fame Bets. The app is really great. Very easy to use. Green and red. You guys know green, good, red, bad. Very easy to read. HOFBets.com. Promo code SGPN. Kramer.
Lock. You ready? UConn. They own the Garden.
Okay.
Dog. Kansas.
Oh,
they're also good in that building. Dog. Other lock. I have a couple different options here. But what I like the consensus stuff, and I like the Cougars of Pullman, Washington. Give me Washington State.
okay.
Hear that dog bark as soon as I gave out that dog? Let's go. That's a sign.
All right. First up for me, lock up Kansas +5. That is just way too many points. And next up, also, Indiana State at home. My other lock -5. My dog is going to be. I'm gonna take Ole Miss at home. I think I like Kansas obviously, but I like the Ole Miss money line. Auburn looking ahead towards Alabama. Noah, what do you got? Lock, dog, bonus lock.
All right, so Kramer, I'm agreeing with Kramer here. UConn -2.5 is
Great
the
pick.
lock of Saturday. They own the Garden. I'm right there with them. This is the spot of the season where you can maybe get a road team to storm the court. So I can't wait for this one on Saturday. And then my second lock is actually going to be Toledo +7. I usually hate Friday slates, but it's actually +7.5 for the Rockets. They've won the last 12 of the last 15 games in this matchup against Akron. They're 5-3 straight up against Akron on the road, and they're giving me 7.5 points. Give me the Rockets. And then for the money line play, I'm probably stealing my partners here, but give me Kansas +5. They win it on the money line. Like I said, this is a good Hunter Dickinson day, and welcome to the Big 12, Houston. At the Fog, they're going to figure out what the home whistle's all about. You know, I already mentioned the free throw rate that, Houston's been fouling at a very high rate this season. Kansas, they make their free throws. I think they're going to do it again here. We're getting 5 with the Jayhawks, but I say screw the points. Give me the money line.
He just copied 2 of my picks. Great strategy, Noah. What do we got in Mac?
Employee of the month.
Lock. I was tempted to go UConn, but let's go another one. Let's go to one of our darlings, San Diego State. Lay it against Utah State. Dog, come on, Bill Self. He's got less losses than fucking Big 12 titles. You giving me as a dog all day. Rock chalk at the Fog. Double lock or bonus lock. I'll stay right here. Maybe that dog out there barking to Richmond Spider fan. VCU, lock it up. Let's go.
All right.
Just ram it.
That's a little yapper.
They should do
VCU is technically -1.
Yeah,
So that was his lock.
They should do a rendition of Just Ram It for VCU.
Oh yeah.
Maybe add some urban flavor to that that sweet rap song the Rams did all those years ago.
What is that when they screw and trap remix, or what is that?
I have no
Cut
idea.
and screwed. I don't know.
Who are you talking to right now? What?
I would ask Noah, but he's probably not the hip hop insider of the group. All right. Do we want to give out a group parlay?
It sounds like Kansas money.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Why don't we just? Don't we just do a Kansas UConn parlay?
Okay. Both on the money.
We don't need a money line.
Okay.
Do we throw in San Diego State?
Yeah.
That feels like a nice 3-banger.
Yeah, I'm
Kansas.
cool with that.
All right. Kansas +5. UConn
Nice and
-2.5.
simple.
Yeah.
San Diego State -4.5.
Yes.
Nice little 3-team parlay. Big thanks to Noah B, Moneyline Mac. Check them out on the college basketball experience and college baseball experience. Mac also on the NFL Gambling Podcast.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Hordes down.
Kramer. Let it ride.